The movie opens when we see a young man named Jason fishing, but decides to head home when he senses the heavy storm coming. Everyone went on with their daily duties, though mindful when the rain is going to come down. Jason has just returned into the neighborhood where he sees the lady jogging as he waves before moving on to park his car and walk into his home as he shuts the door. Moving molecules of the rain water then surrounds his handle door. Jason goes to his wife, showing her the donuts he bought while coming where they both share a romantic kiss before their kids comes in. At the dining table, the kids notices their internet connection suddenly went off, though their parents waves that off saying a guy is coming to check a crack in the chimney. From nowhere his wife asks if he's still going to get the Christmas tree, which their kids overhears that part as both of them reminded him he made a promise. Jason agrees as they all prepares to step out. Ruth goes first to open the door, but Graham thinks she's joking when she was trying to open the door before their dad comes to try, though tries the back door too to be sure. Anne finally comes downstairs to head out, but notice all the doors can't open. Jason tries every ventilation area, but all seems locked. Everyone began panicking as it moves Jason to try kicking the door, even going as far as smashing the door as it develops cracks but still in place as ever before. Anne stood in shock as she sees her husband in frustration. Just about to strike another glass, a neighbor flashes light directly to him, where he realizes they're not the only one in this. They spot Susan, who's on AirPods jogging as they try getting her attention, which she has no idea, but she saw her husband lock inside the house, which she runs to go get help, calming their nerves down. Someone from the neighborhood wrote this was a one-night stand, which Ruth seems curious of what it means, where her dad explains it means an adult sleepover, though she wants to know the difference between an adult sleepover and a regular sleepover, which her mom interrupts saying it's when one gets much candy as they want. Neighbors from across the road began communicating using writings, assuming it's the government that locked them in for their safety. While putting Ruth to bed, she mentions something sensitive, that the rain caused this confusion, although her dad waves it off, assuring her they'll all be fine. At night, Jason couldn't sleep as he goes to drill the door, seeing the rain is creating a barrier around the house, although tells Anne, saying it's not man-made, which he totally feels his going crazy. When the rain stopped, they ran to the door to check, but still in the same situation. The kids seems calm as they have already accepted the situation, believing their parents will figure things out. Hearing this makes them switch to survival mode, where their mom and dad orients them on managing their food and water, knowing fully there's no way to get them other than to conserve them in case they run out of water. The kids tries to feel in school but gets bored eventually. Their dad tries teaching them about real-life skills by learning how to gut a fish, although didn't have some fishes, but Ruth sacrifices her dolls as samples. Jason goes to help Anne but stops him from throwing out the tomato seeds, saying she's saving it to plant. Little Ruth knew droplets of the rain isn't ordinary as she plays with it on the window before her dad interrupts as he plays a song for a family dance. The kids happens to be adapting to all of this, thanks to their mom and dad. About 1 month later, Ruth tells Graham about the rain walker who visits when the rain falls. When eating, Ruth tells her parent both of them saw the rain walker but didn't believe her. It's Christmas time, where Ruth got half an apple while Graham gets back his old toy, which he quite remembers them. The kids and their father gifted Mum her very own baby tomato, which she planted, as she feels delighted. However, Jason gives Cass his last medication, which that happens that they went out of his meds. At night, the storm wakes Ruth up as she goes to the living room to get her dolls. But as she goes to the window, a lady holding a knife scares her as she runs to meet her dad, who saw it's Susan, as she screams all the neighbors are dead, and they're coming before she gets grabbed by the monster out there. Seeing this, Jason calls for a family meeting where he looks at Ruth drawing about the rain walker, although seems confused what he's looking at. Graham looks sad as he suggests they all should sleep together. Their parents lays some rules of limiting looking out the window when the rain starts, saying their new mission is to survive as a family. Jason saw many families out there going through one conflict or the other, where he hides this from his kids, suggesting they do some sports. During stretching, Ruth Waite seems to be cracking the walls where the chimney cap falls down. Their parent sees it as they say it's a way out. Ruth volunteers to check it out because she's the lightest. They had doubt, but at the same time had no option than to give her a chance. She sticks her hand outside the house, confirming no barrier there. Ruth notices something's wrong with Cass, where her dad told them it's his heart again, and they ran out of meds. Jason whispers to Anne to put on the TV to its loudest volume so he can do what's in his mind, which she obeys as he takes Cass to the garage, pointing a gun as he pulls the trigger. Soon Anne walked in, though Jason suggests they preserve his meat if things gets worse, which breaks Anne's heart. Jason stores Cass' meat in the refrigerator. Even him does not seem happy about this. Just about to cook some, Jason saw a hungry dog, though felt compassion for it as he passes some meat through the chimney, but as the rain starts, the dog quickly runs away. There Jason felt a kind of magnetic force in the rain. The next day, the rain starts, although Dad hurries everyone to close the window as they cuddle together. Ruth runs to get her plant, where the monster was at the window, though Dad quietly warns her not to move at that moment before the monster goes away. While eating, Ruth asks for more, where it turns to a massive argument, as it breaks Anne's heart to see her children so hungry. Anne began talking negatively, but Jason does not want to give up, assuring everything will be fine. Graham walks in with slices of his fish, asking his mom to cook them for the family. At that point, it dawns on Jason he could build a trap to help hunt animals. Graham joins him as they wait for result. With many trials and errors, Jason improvises well as it finally catches one, although tries pulling but saw nothing before the squirrel falls down. They cooked it and ate, where it seems they haven't tasted something this good for a long time. Thereafter, Anne began planting inside the house just to survive. Chimney fishing was their main source of food while they get water supply from the rain. Give them 5 years from now, where we see Ruth and Graham all grown, where they slowly get bored of the one lifestyle that is keeping them alive. One day when Anne was laying on the bed, she saw the door and heard the door bang, which caused more cracks, although she notices the house seems to be sinking. Every day seems challenging to Jason. Even at a slight accomplishment, he still feels threatened. His family won't survive all this. The monster interrupts their argument, where Jason quietly tells everyone to hide as the monster unlocks the door with rainwater. The monster walks in, polluting their water and plants. Meanwhile, Graham times when it goes out so he can't escape. The monster rushes out after hearing a horn, although his dad stops Graham from going outside before the door gets shut. Ruth began making research about sea creatures, but her dad does not feel comfortable hearing all of that, asking her to take a break from the book. Dan gets frustrated as they both involve in an argument. While arguing, Jason's trap cut a ferret, which Ruth picks it up as it bit her hand. Jason rushes to twist its head. The poison spreads in her, causing her to be ill. Anne claims she needs some antibiotics, where it seems Jason's world has crumpled before his eyes, as he tries breaking the walls repeatedly with his car before Anne stops him. In the process of all this, an idea pops up, but it does seem like he's insane, though continues until the iron went through, believing there's a hole underneath. Jason saw the pipe is connected to their neighbor's house, realizing he couldn't fit, although his wife suggests she goes in to get the meds from Mr. Richardson's house. Dan goes into the sewer as she finds a loose brick, where she pushes through, which makes Jason to panic, although Graham spots his mom in the neighbor's house, alerting his dad. In there, Anne saw lots of dead bodies, which she guessed right they died of starvation and flood. She went on to search for the antibiotics as it began to rain, where the monster seems to be there. Anne struggles to reach the pipe as sees the monster, where she shoots it before they pulled her up. Anne rushed to give Ruth the meds. Even so, Jason knew the monsters now know they are more than he thinks in the house, believing they are not safe anymore. Graham joins the conversation, trying to convince them they all can make an escape and fight this thing, which they all agree, using their house as bait as they set traps both upstairs and downstairs. The rain had just begun as the family seems ready. Water began to flow little by little before a massive flood from the chimney flows inside the house. Just when Anne lights the monster on fire, it happens Jason missed the shot as it throws him away. They manage to meet themselves above the water, where Graham decides to go get the harpoon in the kitchen. This time Jason trusts him. Graham gets the harpoon as he waits patiently for them to create an opening, as he swims fast, but the creature follows. They all move to attic for plan B, where they wait patiently for the monster before they pull the ropes to start the car, where Jason fires again. This time the rope pulls the creature along as it traps it. They tried the door again but would not open. Jason got fed up as he threatens to stab the monster. Ruth screams if he kills her, they'll never get out. Jason paused for a while, recalling Ruth trying to tell him about the nice rainwalker as of now. He listens where he sets the monster free. Due to their kind act, he opens the door for them to escape, but more are outside where it communicate with the rest as they let them be, although the house finally collapse. The sun comes out, fully bright this time. Suddenly Ruth began running in excitement, where it turns out she just want to see the creatures going back to the ocean, which she was right, it did come from the ocean. At the end, they sail across the ocean in search of a new home. I'm guessing you enjoyed the movie. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of this in this channel. Thanks for watching.